Back at it again, y'all. Sorry for the delayed video. Been busy around the house. Winter time, been cooped up. Getting back at it. I wanted to do just a tune-up on your mowers for springtime and stuff like that. I'm going to show you guys the basics of what you're going to need if you don't know much about these. They're not very difficult to deal with. So the first thing I would do is just every season when it comes to it, just take your air filter cover off here. Mine's kind of rigged on there, don't mind that. Take off your cover and you can see your sponge is really dirty, your filter. Make sure you get that all dusted out. You can even soap and water with Dawn, wring it out, let it dry. Don't put it back in there soaking wet, obviously, or you're not going to have as much airflow coming in. It's all about the airflow. Your engine needs intake. So we're gonna, you want to pan the video or camera over here. This is what the inside of this looks like. Don't be afraid to spray a little bit of starting fluid in there. Don't breathe that stuff, especially on a windy day. Get right in your eyes and face. Make sure, beware of that. Spray that in there. Put that back in there. Make sure it's all clean. This is broke, so I'll tape that back up here in a minute so we ain't got a bunch of debris sucking up in our motor. So now that's the first thing. The second thing, obviously, is going to be the gas. Check your gas, and don't be afraid to take a light and shine your light down in there and to see if there's any dirt or anything like that. And if there is too much amount of dirt, go ahead and rinse it out. Tip your mower over and just kind of continuously do that a little bit until you get it to where you want it. The third thing, one of the most important things is check your oil, and you should always do this every time you start your mower up before you start it. And just take your little dipstick. This is your oil dipstick that goes down to your oil pan. So take that out of there. Get your napkin. Wipe that off. Hold on, baby. Wipe that off. You can see this is between those two lines. You're good. So we'll stick that back in here. We got her on there. We're gonna unloosen her up. You guys can tell we're a little low, but she's good right now until I go to the store. But if she wasn't, if she didn't have anything in there, I would not start it. You guys will ruin your mower, obviously. The other thing is, let's say you got it out of your garage, you're wanting to start it up and it won't start up. You hit the choke, nothing's happening. A simple way to fix that could be as simple as like looking under your mower. You don't have to get too far under there, but look under your mower, check your blade first off, see if it's all loose. If it's loose, don't run it. Good and tight, you're good. You want it to spin a little bit, not too tight. Make sure you ain't got a bunch of debris under here or it won't start. That could be a reason it ain't starting. It couldn't even have nothing to do with your motor. It could just be clogged up down here. So make sure everything's off when you do this. No kids are around. Definitely not engaged. Do not ever do this. Look under this while that thing's going. So now let's get back to the other, more of the motor side of it. Let's say it's not starting. You checked your underneath. No grass buildup. You checked your gas. It's not really that dirty. You got good gas. You just put in there, you know for sure. You got oil in your tank, your oil pan. The oil for these, like a mower, you can just use like 10W40, 10W30. It doesn't really matter. Just use a good. It can be the cheapest oil they got. It'll work. These mowers like this, they'll burn that stuff quicker than you can put it in most of the time anyways, especially these older models. This is a 90s model, I think. But this thing is one of the best mowers I've ever had. Still looks good. Has some riggings done to it, but that's okay. But now you check your underneath. It's not starting still. So let's look at the spark plug right here. Now you come over here, this could be one of the main reasons. If it's motor issues, it could be your spark plug not getting ignition, you know, to start your motor. Your fuel's not getting a spark from your spark plug. So simple as unplugging this thing a little bit. Now to check and see if your spark plug's good, all you gotta do, you can get a piece of wire, just cut off a little piece of wire, make sure it's metal, kind of balled it up in there where it's sticking out a little bit, and kind of just arc it over your spark plug, or you can even if you got two people, you can kind of hold it up to there. Be careful not to touch it, but just kind of hold it up like that and you'll see a spark. That means your spark plug's good. So once you're getting that, so you know you got good spark plug. Now let's say if you wasn't getting a spark, you're gonna have to just change your spark plug. Walmart to have your spark plug. Just make sure you take that one in with you. Now, if it ain't your spark plug and you just wanting to try to get it started and you see everything looks good, I would take your spark plug out just like this. It's your regular spark plug sockets. Just got the little rubber piece. Just stick her on there, find a socket that works. Take her off of there. I'll show you guys real quick. Sorry about the background noise, guys. It's time to get fed for the boys in the background. We'll take this off of here. And remember, when you put this on, it ain't got to be too tight. So we'll get it off here. I'll show you guys what it looks like. You ain't gonna have nothing spilling out too much, so don't worry about that. Now this is an older spark plug, but I do know it runs good. So this is what your spark plug looks like. Just like that. Be careful not to crack that. That's your porcelain part of your spark plug. That's your spark plug gap. Sometimes that could be bent out of whack and not, you know, just needs a little bit bent back into work. Be careful if you're messing around with that stuff. So the trick is this: take your spark plug out, spray a little bit of starting fluid in there, guys. Now this mower has not started this year, so, and I tried it and it wasn't going to start, so we're going to try it. Spray a little bit out in there. Don't be scared. Put your spark plug back on there. Don't cross thread it. Take your time and kind of backtrack it, like go back the other way just a little bit to let it seat in there. You don't ever want to just force it in there. Let it backtrack it and then go. You can feel it go freely. Should spin freely all the way up. You should just hand tighten these guys. I mean, theoretically, they don't do much. They just do this, you know, just needs spark. So we'll tighten this back up, and then I'll show you guys one more tip. That's good. I'll show you guys one more tip about the if it's not starting still after you do this. Make sure your little metal piece in your spark plug elbow right here is not all bent. That could be an issue sometimes, it's just not having the metal piece connected. Keep that in mind, guys. We got that back on, everything looks good. Our gas is good, our oil's good, our flywheel and our strings all intact. Our air filter's cleaned out. We don't have any thing clogging our exhaust. Check that. You always want exhaust coming out. Make sure you ain't got dirt daubers or anything in there. Make sure your blade ain't all wobbly around, kill your neighbor. Make sure your spark plug's good and tight. Now it should fire theoretically. Now let's say, I'll try it here in a minute, but if it doesn't start, that last tip I'm going to give you guys in this video is your carburetor right here. And sometimes it's as simple as just, this is your carburetor. This is what feeds your engine fuel. So your gas tank goes into it'll drip down in your carburetor, and your carburetor's got a float that releases gas whenever the engine is asking for it. Every time that piston goes up and down, it's all intact. It's like it's like your brain and your heart and your lungs. It all works together. Same scenario. This is kind of like your kidney in a way. It filters and puts everything where it needs to be at the right of portions, if that makes sense, guys. And your motor's like your heart. It keeps things pumping. Your pistons like your pretty much like your legs, your movement. And there you go, guys. Your carburetor's right here. And the tip was just like, sometimes it's simple as just tap on it a little bit, not bang it as hard as you can, but just kind of give it a little bit of tap, and that'll loosen some stuff up in there. And then if that still don't start after that, and if you have a little bit of a basic knowledge and ain't scared to get into stuff like this, it really ain't that hard. But what you would have to do is just take your bottom float off. Your bowl float is right here, and then your float is like a little plastic piece inside there. It just floats with the fuel. So once this cover comes off, your plastic float and everything's in there, and your jets are just little holes that your fuel goes through, and them little jets get clogged with your grimy gas and just dirty, any kind of dirt, debris. It gets up in there, and just the littlest dirt can clog it up, and just sometimes beating that will just resolve that. And I hope I helped you guys out today. I thought this was a very informational video. Just was out in the yard messing around with the boys, and just wanted to show you guys some good information. Hope you guys are liking our channel. We're going to be doing a lot of videos like this, not necessarily about mowers, but just anything to do with knowledgeable outdoors, stuff like that. Don't be afraid to subscribe, guys. Hit that like button. See y'all in the next one.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's start this again. Let's see if she'll start. Make sure you got her on choke. So she's on choke. Make sure she's in neutral, because this is it drives itself, self-propelled. So start her up. Come on.